Hello everyone, today we are going to see wireless ad hoc networks and its self-organizing behavior. But moving into the behavior concept, we first go through a brief introduction of wireless ad hoc networks. So the the wireless networks basically categorized into two categories: infrastructure based and infrastructure less. The infrastructure base have stations and access points which are fixed and centralized. Examples are wireless LANs and cellular networks, whereas infrastructure less have no centralized access points, and the example of these are ad hoc network. Now, ad hoc network is a multi-hop network that does not require any fixed infrastructure. Helps it take help of intermediate structures. The PMO take part in relying information. It is also a self-configuring and self-organizing network. It is very useful in situations where infrastructures can't be installed. Depending upon the topology and deployment, ad hoc network can be classified into two categories. Those categories are homogeneous networks and heterogeneous networks. The homogeneous ad hoc network consists of nodes having similar characteristics. Example, the network of smartphones only, and in heterogeneous ad hoc network, it consists of nodes with different capabilities. Example, a network of PC and smartphones or many other devices. Next, moving ahead with the self-organization behavior, let's see what is self-organization. It is an important concept in building a scalable system made up of a large number of subsystems. Self-organization in mobile ad hoc network, also known as managed, is organizing a set of mobile nodes with unique IDs and wireless mediums of communication into a network. These networks must be able to self-configure and self-organize. Self-organization in manage maintain the structure when topological changes occur. Let's see the primary objectives of self-organization. Self-organization has these three primary objectives: coordination and collaboration to achieve shared goals, achieve collaboration without central entity, availability and scalability, and reliability of the system. Here, availability denotes the availability of nodes at the time of need, and also the scalability denotes the performance of the system, especially when the number of nodes involved are increased. Reliability denotes the system reliability and the network reliability also at the time of load. Next, moving ahead with the properties of self-organization network. Self-organization organizing networks have following properties: self-configuration, self-management, self-adaptability, and self-protection. Next, let's see what are these. In self-configuration, system setup parameter initially without external intervention. In self-management, it maintains current system configuration in terms of current system parameters. In self-adaptability, system ability to adapt the changing environmental condition is seen. In self-protection, ability on the system to protect itself from external malicious influences are seen. Further few more properties are self-healing, optimizing, and diagnosing. In self-healing, changing system configuration to operate in presence of failure or to recover from failure. In self-optimizing, the ability of the system to configure local components based on global objectives are seen. In self-diagnosis, the ability of system to detect faults and initiate self-healing is being seen. Next, moving ahead with the mechanisms used in mobile ad hoc network. These mechanisms include the previous property that we have seen. First, let's see self-configuring and self-organizing. These has two mechanisms, that is route discovery and route update. Route discovery is the discovery of route between pair nodes, and route update is the update of current topology by detecting the nodes and link failure. Next property which has been involved is self-optimizing. It improves in this the self-optimizing leads to improve the routes with respect to route length and energy consumption. Next property we are seeing here is self-healing. In this, two more mechanisms are used. Those are masking fault tolerance and non-masking fault tolerance. Next, moving ahead with a protocol. There are many although there are many protocols which are used in ad hoc network, but especially in managed leech protocol is the mainly recently used, and it also popular among managed. It stands for Low Energy Adaptive Clustering Hierarchy Protocol. It is a cluster based protocol as we see in the name. Its application is where we need even distribution of power consumption and its assumptions are in these type of protocol, each node is a regular node only to communicate with the cluster node, and each node act as a regular or cluster head node. These are the only two assumptions on which this protocol is based on. Next, we see the limitation of self-organizing behavior. There are two limitations: controllability and cross-mechanism interface. Let's first see controllability. When comparing with centralized system to self-organization system, the deterministic behavior of self-organized system reduces as compared to the centralized system, whereas there is vice versa in case of scalability. The scalability increases as compared to cent- I mean the scalability increase as compared to the centralized system. Cross-mechanism interface is also a limitation. In this, composition of different mechanism leads to an emergence of unpredictable behavior in the network while passing the information. These are the two limitations of self-organizing networks, which are mainly found in ad hoc network. Thank you so much for your time, and thanks for watching.